Welcome once again to 3 Up and 3 Down. For those of you not familiar with our channel and this particular show, we tackle the DFS fantasy sports world. Today we'll be concentrated on the Bengals and the Giants game for Sunday night DFS, particularly on Draftkings. The prices that we'll be giving you are from Draftkings. The 3 Up section of the show will be about 3 players I believe you should spend up on. And the 3 Down are players that I believe are undervalued, underpriced, and should hit value. Remember, we are a new channel. We're trying to help you win money. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a retired sports writer, pretty kind of a fantasy expert if I say so myself. I've taken down 3 major DFS contests on DraftKings in the last 5 years, and I'm hoping to get a few more and hoping to carry some of you guys along the way. Please hit like and subscribe, and if you have any lineup questions about tonight's game, if you get them to me before 8 o'clock, I will make sure I answer every single one of them. And without any further ado, we'll start with our 3 Up players. When we're doing single fantasy games, you have to have a feeling of what the game flow is going to be like to try to get an idea where you're going to pick. I'll be the first to tell you that this Bengals-Giants game leaves me a little perplexed. Cincinnati for the year, their defense has been much worse than anybody thought it would be. And up until last week, so had its offense. On the other side, the Giants defense has been much better than anybody anticipated. And their offense probably a little bit better. If I looked at it objectively, I've been trying to figure out how this is going to go. I think it's going to be a medium-sized scoring game with the Bengals probably jumping out to a lead and holding on. And that's what I'm basing this on. So hopefully that's the way things play out. Number 1 in the 3 Up is going to be quarterback Joe Burrow, who's at $10,000. The prices I'm giving you is for the flex position. Obviously, if you're going to play DraftKings and you want them as your MVP, you're going to have to pay 50% more. Burrow has not been the reason that Cincinnati has struggled this year. He has 1,370 yards, 12 touchdowns, only 2 picks. And he's thrown for 300 yards in 2 of the last 3 weeks. I really don't think the Giants are going to put up much resistance in getting Burrow the yards that he needs and the scores that he needs. And I believe he should be strongly considered for your MVP, even though you're going to have to pay up. He's the second highest second highest priced player behind receiver Jamar Chase. Number 2 in the 3 Up will be quarterback Daniel Jones. So yes, I'm naming both quarterbacks. It's not a cop-out. I do think that Jones is kind of what makes this Giants offense go right now. And that's because Malik Neighbors, their star rookie receiver from LSU, is out with a concussion. And Devin Singletary, their running back, is also out. Jones I believe, is going to have the ball put in his hands a lot, and obviously not physically, yes, but figuratively also. I think the Giants are going to rely a lot on his legs, on his throwing arm to try to stay in this big game. He's coming off his best fantasy game of the year last week with 22 fantasy points. And it's somebody that I think is going to be pretty close to hitting that mark, if not a little bit higher this week. And finally, on 3 Upside is going to be wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson, also of the Giants. With Neighbors out, Robinson has become Jones's favorite target. And seems like the Giants had really struggled to try somebody to be their go-to guy. And he has had 23 targets in the last 2 games. I don't see that slowing down at all. And as I've mentioned on this program before, you have to have value to have points, unless you're one of those players that's going to have 2 catches for 112 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jones is going to get open against the Bengals secondary that's not the greatest in the world and has probably underachieved this year. And I see another double-digit target going his way. Now we go to the 3 Down, 3 players that I think are underpriced. And we're going to start off with one that could probably go in either column. He is the 10th highest ranked or highest priced player on the board, and that's running back Tyrone Tracy from the Giants. The Giants have been successful this year when they have dominated time of possession, and they've been able to do it quite a bit. As I mentioned before, I think at some point the Bengals are going to open up a 10-point or 2-touchdown lead. Tracy is going to have to get his carries early. He filled in last week for Devin Singletary, who, as I mentioned, is out, with 18 carries for 129 yards. They really don't have another option at the running back position. The one thing that concerns me about Tracy is he only received 2 targets. Now, he's going to have to get his work done early, hopefully pile up points, maybe score a touchdown. And I'm really hoping that the Giants get him involved in the passing game as well. Number 2 is going to be tight end Eric All of the Cincinnati Bengals. He has all but taken over for Mike Gesicki as a primary offensive target as tight end. Gesicki still runs routes, but all has matched him or surpassed him in targets in each of the last 4 games. Now, he's only had 14 targets in those games, but those 14 targets have turned into 14 catches. He hasn't scored yet. Hopefully tonight will be the night, because at a price of, what is all priced at? $3,400, a touchdown would just about guarantee that he meets value. And in case I didn't mention it, or I think I did, Tyrone Tracy is $7,400. Now, the last one, I usually leave a long shot for the last, and this is a player that on the single game fantasy possibly could get you 0 points. I'm stumbling with my words right now because I don't like saying 0 points. However, at just $2,800, tight end Theo Johnson of the Giants, I believe, has the potential to do a lot more than that. He had 5 catches on 5 targets last week. Now, those 5 targets were more than he had in the previous 3 games combined. The reason? Malik Neighbors was out, who's out this week as well, and Devin Singletary was out, and he's out this week as well. Add to that the fact that the Bengals are the 8th worst defense against fantasy tight ends, and I am definitely going to have a little bit of Theo Johnson. Well, that's going to be it. Once again, to review, our 3-up players are Joe Burrow, quarterback at $10,000, Daniel Jones, quarterback at $9,000, and Wan'Dale Robinson, wide receiver at $8,200. Our 3-down players are Eric All, tight end at $3,400, Theo Johnson, tight end at $2,800, Tyrone Tracy, running back at $7,400. Remember, please hit like and subscribe, and if you have any questions about your lineup before 8 o'clock, please send a comment and I will make sure to answer you. Win some money tonight.